Hey everyone, I'm Thiago, I'm a chef, and this is not a cooking channel. Today I'm gonna discuss why so many chefs kill themselves. Let's do this.
Longtime television personality Anthony Bourdain has died.
CNN confirms the cause of death was suicide.
World-renowned chef, best-selling author, award-winning host of Parts Unknown, and our friend, Anthony Bourdain has died.
The world is remembering Anthony Bourdain this morning.
The CNN host, chef, and author was found dead in his hotel room in France.
Bourdain was found dead in a hotel room in France after an apparent suicide.
Suicide is a very real issue. If you feel stuck or depressed, stop everything you're doing, close this video, Google suicide help, and get assistance. The struggle is real, and you are not alone. 1671, François Vettel, he decided to kill himself over the lateness of seafood delivery. 1801, James Higgins, he was trained in France, cooked for a president, but he was also an alcoholic who committed suicide at age 36. 2003, Bernard Loiseau decided to kill himself over a newspaper report that indicated that his restaurant might be losing its 3-star status. Might. Fucking hell. A might. 2015, Romário Canto had no history of depression or mental illness, and he was found dead hanging inside the building he was renovating. January 2017, Nitai Gordon, here from Sydney. He was a junior chef and he was depressed. July 2017, Jeremy Strode. Worked with a guy every day and I could never tell what was coming. People are struggling in this industry every single day. The standard of the industry is that the chefs are always in the shit.
Gentlemen, today is about consistency. Brad, the chef, are you consistently shit?
No, chef.
You get your ass kicked throughout many years. Eventually you survived. Eventually you were in the right team at the right moment and you just fit in. You're not having your ass kicked anymore. Eventually you see yourself in a position where you are the man in charge. The only way you learn, the only way you understand how to lead, how to be the man in charge, it's through kicking asses. You had no one to mentor you, to guide you throughout being an inspiring leader, a respectful leader.
How do you like that? How do you like that?
Why?
Because sometimes what you really need is for someone else to pay a horrible price.
You get that on top of all the stress, the hours, the injuries. You are not allowed to take any medical leaves. In any industry, you have a second-degree burn in your arm, you stop working straight away. Being socially pressured to tough it out at all times. The Guardian recently published an article about London's chefs working up to 90 hours a week. And over 80% of them said that they had an accident or a near miss due to fatigue. And more than half of them declared that they were using alcohol or drugs or painkillers to get through a shift. That guy is doing so many hours a week. The guy has to go drunk. So the guy is pretty much drunk 100 hours a week. Or on painkillers or on drugs. Over 51% of the London chefs declared that they suffer from depression due to overwork. Imagine you have a room right now full of chefs. Half of them are feeling depressed because they're working too much. And the thing with depression, sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes you just don't know. You just don't see it. Dude is still laughing, dude is still cracking jokes, dude is still shopping and drinking, maybe drinking too much. The thing is, when the guy is alone, when it's him with himself, in his bed, going to sleep, he rests his head in the pillow and there is no one judging him, no one looking at him. There is nowhere he needs to fit in. It's just him and himself and no one else. That guy is broken. Half of your room right now, seriously broken. A recent article on Australia's workplace mental health crisis published that the main risk factors for work-related suicide included job insecurity, Isolation thanks to unsociable hours, a macho culture, lack of openness about mental health, bullying, high intensity and low control environments. Guys, this is kitchen all over it. Check, 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 check. Fucking hell. This has chefs all over it. The main risk factors for work-related suicide is basically being a chef.
I mean, this is absolutely fucking hideous.
If you have to be 24/7 in fight mode, eventually you're gonna burn out. Eventually you're gonna get emotionally exhausted. Answering the question why so many chefs kill themselves. After all that we discussed, my take is obviously because the industry is sick, from top to bottom. And the fact is, the real question we should be asking is, what can we do to change it? So my first take on this topic, government could make mandatory that chefs have a mental evaluation check once a year, twice a year, in order to be eligible to work as chefs in a kitchen. Such a stressful environment, you have to have some measurement, some way to control the mental health of the people working in it, especially with the outcomes we keep having for the last 300 years. This is number one. Number two, we could have a union that actually do something for the workers. Many of the things that are standard in hospitality, they're actually against working laws. In England, for example, you cannot have less than 12 hours between shifts. It's literally impossible to do 90 hours work a week, having 12 hours or more of break between shifts. And it's illegal. It's not only wrong, it's illegal. Or not being able to take medical leaves. You have to have the ability, the freedom to take care of yourself, first of all. And if you cut yourself at work, you take a medical leave and you come back, you don't have a job anymore? This is illegal, guys. This is wrong. We have to have a union that actually supports the chefs and make sure that those standard behaviors are not standard anymore. It's very stressful for everyone. For the chefs, for the owners, especially if the chef is the owner. It's our duty as chefs in charge, as team leaders, to lead through inspiration, to lead through respect. The second people feel inspired, is gonna be a domino effect. Without all that amount of extra stress, there will be no need for quick stress relief. Without the quick stress relief need, the amount of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, addictions in general, chefs tend to be addicted in something. Drinking or gambling or cigarettes, smoking cigarettes. It's ridiculous how easily addictable a chef can be. It's ridiculous. The life is so stressful that you have to have a very quick way out because you have only so many hours between shifts. If you finish work at midnight and you're gonna go back to work at 10, assuming you start at 10, you don't start at 8, you don't have too much time to relieve all that pressure. You go home, you are still thinking about the restaurant. It is as important to get your head out of the kitchen game as it is to get it in. Once you clock out, you have to clock out. In your heart, in your mind, you have to clock out. And this is very, very difficult to do when you have this kind of environment. When you have the team leaders around you making sure your life is harder. This is wrong. This really is. I've seen this study not long ago, which was made with people who tried to commit suicide and failed. Every single one of them regretted the second after there was no way back. The guy tried to jump in the river, eventually he didn't die when he fell. Or he wanted to get hit by a car or something, he got hit but didn't die. Or tried to OD on medications or whatever. All those things. The second there was no way back. The second's like, fuck, that's it. That's it, I'm going. It's done. That split a second, you have the clarity. You're like, fuck, life is so much more than the pain I'm going through right now. Than all the emotionally overwhelming and stressing and suffering I'm going through right now. But you just don't see it. When you're feeling depressed, and there is pretty much 50% chance you're gonna be depressed if you work in a kitchen. Struggle is real, guys. And we have to do something about it. As men in charge, we have to do something about it. We have to be the examples, forge a generation that can take over our legacy. Because right now what we're doing is overworking ourselves to death and leaving a track of shit for the next generation. So what if we could have some external help? Because definitely the industry itself is failing to fix this issue. And right now it's a matter of public health. It is not a matter of business anymore, of profit, of generating jobs, creating jobs. It's a matter of public health. People are killing themselves because the way this industry is operating is not working, and something needs to be done about it.
I have a story that you will want to listen to for 10 minutes. Why would any reasonable, and I might make a living doing that. Some of you might even want to pay for that story, to the point that I could make a living doing that rather than washing dishes or preparing meals. That's not normal. That takes something, and I don't know whether that's, that's often very much at odds with being a functioning, well-rounded, good person in the conventional sense. That kind of vanity, narcissism, self-regard, self-importance, and cheerful willingness to examine and share your feelings. I think Fran Lebowitz said at one point, if you're sharing your feelings, that's not sharing, that's leaking.
And if you like this video, if you enjoyed the content, if you think that a little bit of what I said here resonates with you, helped you somehow, if it made sense to you, send it to a friend who needs to see it. Hit the like, hit subscribe, mark the bell to be notified about any new content. I'm gonna leave a bunch of very useful links in the description, make sure to check them out. It's a very controversial topic, very delicate, serious, and it's impossible to be tackled in one single video. Guys, very important, go to the comment section or hit me up on social media and let me know what's your take on this topic. How do you believe we can make this industry better? How can we make this industry a better industry, a healthier industry, a safer industry for all of us? See you next time. Much love. Ciao.